Are you absolutely sick of hearing that you have to get up at 5 in the morning in order to finish your novel and be productive? That you have to mainline coffee to stay awake while the rest of your family gets to sleep in? I will admit that I work really well in the morning, getting up and getting right to work. But that's not everyone. For a lot of people, that's really just a recipe for burnout. But what if the secret to writing more isn't fighting your body's natural rhythm, but actually flowing with it? What if you could build a morning routine that works well for your body and your sleep schedule? Today, we're going to figure out how to build a perfect writing routine for you, your sleep schedule, your body, and we're going to throw out the rule book that says you have to write like everybody else.
You have a story to tell, but you don't know where to start. Let me show you how to free your story. I teach you how to write and how to dig deep in your soul to release your story and make a difference in the world.
Welcome to the Julia Montechannel. I'm really happy that you're here. I'm excited to share tips with you every week and to get to know more and more new friends that join me, find my YouTube channel, and actually come back every week. I really appreciate that. And so let's get started. Let me tell you a little bit about myself first. I am a women's fiction author, also a romance author. I've been writing for over 25 years, and I don't know everything, but I know some things that I am happy to share with you. So what I want to talk about today is the morning routine, the morning writing routine that you hear about a lot online. So write like Hemingway, or write like Stephen King, right? Or write like me, right? Where everybody's giving you advice, and it always to get more done, the suggestion is to get up earlier. Get up at 4 a.m., get up at 5 a.m., get your writing done before the day begins. And really what I want to say is that's just a myth, right? The myth of the perfect writing day is not true. And I think we came up with it, or we writers think of it because we all are struggling writers. Really, we all work somewhere else. We have families, and so in order to get our writing done, we just kind of told ourselves, well, we have to get up early and we have to do it before everybody else gets up. Otherwise, we're not going to get anything done. Or for some of us, we stay up super late and we do it then because otherwise, again, we're not going to get our writing done. But the problem is, we're not all the same, right? So you hear about famous authors getting up at 4 a.m., but if that's not you, then you're going to start to feel like, well, what's wrong with me? Maybe I'm not a real writer. Maybe I'm just a failure. Maybe I'm not disciplined. I can't get up that early. But forcing yourself to get on a schedule that's not you, that doesn't fit your internal clock, or that doesn't even interest you, is probably the fastest way to murder your creativity. I got to be honest, it's not going to work for you, and you're going to feel like a failure because you're trying to do something that's not natural for you. And the answer is not in more willpower or forcing your body to do something it doesn't want to do. So as I was researching this, I found something really interesting that I thought I'm going to share this with my YouTube people, because I thought it was actually really interesting and a good way to match your own circadian rhythm, your body clock, with your writing schedule. And what I was reading was about understanding your chronotype. And I was like, okay, what's that mean? I don't really know what that is. And it's a concept that's rooted in your genetics and in your natural internal clock. It determines when you're most alert, or when you're most creative, or when you're able to get more things done. So rather than trying to fit yourself into somebody else's ideal schedule, you look at yourself and you say, okay, well, what would be my ideal schedule based on my chronotype? And that way I can schedule the hardest part of my day, the most creative part of my day, when I'm going to be the most successful. And that might be early in the morning, or it might be late at night, or it might be at another time. So how do you figure out your chronotype? Well, here is what I found that I thought was interesting. So first I thought, is this just kind of like BS? This is really, it's just kind of woo-woo stuff. It's not really true. But actually it is. Chronobiology is a science. And there were these two guys, Jeffrey C. Hall and Michael Rorschbach, and actually three guys, and Michael W. Young, who were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2017 in physiology and medicine, because they discovered that molecular they discovered molecular mechanisms that control your circadian rhythms. So it's really true that we are either more creative, more active, or do better at certain times of the day, depending on your own body and your own internal clock. So there were all kinds of things about really how good it is to understand this for your health and your life and all that. Now I'm going to bore you with any of that, but I do want to share that they break it down into 4 types, and they name them after animals that have the kind of sleep habits that you might have. Okay, so I'm going to share each one of them with you. So I'm going to share them quickly first, and then I'll explain a little bit more about them. So the first one is the lion. So the lion are your early birds. So if you think of a lion gets out of bed super early, like maybe 4 in the morning, between 4 and 6 in the morning. They get their food. They're bursting with energy in the morning. They have a lot of they're laser focused so that they could hunt. But as the early afternoon comes, they get lazy. You see them laying around in the sun, and they're done by early evening. The next one is the bear, and the bear is the most common chronotype. About half the population is a bear, and it's the most normal because what they do is they follow the sun. So they get up when the sun is up, they go to sleep when the sun goes down. So they have their normal, they're most active in the middle of the day. They might start the day about 7 or 8 in the morning, and then by 5 or 6 in the afternoon, they're pretty much done. The productivity is done. And they coast into the evening. Then there's the wolf. The wolf is your night owl. The wolf is going to be most active in the evening. So for humans, the wolf is the one that battles that alarm clock. They do not like that alarm clock waking them up early. They would love to get up about 11, noon. They usually don't want to talk to anybody in the morning. They're kind of tired. They don't really fully wake up until late in the afternoon. And then all of a sudden they're wide awake, they're creative, they're ready to take on the world, they're ready to go out, they're ready to go have fun. And their energy isn't going to die until like early in the morning. And then lastly, it's the dolphin. The dolphin is kind of the most interesting, the one I can relate to the least, but it's kind of the most interesting. They're light, they're kind of unpredictable. They can sleep pretty much at any time during the day. They're kind of sensitive to noise, and they shut their minds off in the evening. Because their sleep schedule can be kind of chaotic, they have different energy levels throughout the day. So that means they also have pockets of creativity during the day as well. So think about it, like which one sounds more like you? To me, I was a wolf with some lions sprinkled in. I could get up early. I actually don't mind getting up early, especially now. But I don't really want to talk to anybody. I remember one time they scheduled me for a 7 o'clock class at the university, and I thought I was going to die. I couldn't think. I couldn't be creative. I didn't want to talk. How could I teach, right? So I'm not good in the morning. However, I am good. This is why I have a little bit of the lion sprinkled in there. I could do other things in the morning. So I could write. I could do things on my own. I could be creative in the morning. I just don't want to be out and be, active, and I don't want to have discussions with people. I don't want to do that kind of stuff in the morning. So I'm more towards the wolf, a little bit of lion. After, for some reason in the afternoon, after 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, I get the second wind and I'm ready to go. I could actually stay up writing all night. So I can get up early and write, afternoon not so good, and I could write in the evening. So now that you have an idea of the chronotypes and maybe where you fall, and again, we're not all one or the other, right? You might be a combination of them, or you might be just leaning more towards one than the other. But once you know, like, okay, I'm more of a wolf. I like writing at night, or I'm more of a bear. I'm not a super early riser, but I like during the day. That's when I want to do my work. So once you know this, right, you can plan your writing routine. So I have 4 routines here that you could follow. So if you're a lion, that means that you're kind of a dawn writer. You're going to get up early in the morning. Your superpower is that quiet, focused zone early in the morning. So for you, when everybody says, hey, you get up at 4 or 5, you're like, cool, I'll do that. I'll get up at 4 or 5 in the morning and I'll do my writing, because that is when your brain is more creative. That's when you're more ready to take on challenges. So the first thing you should do, if this is you, is get up and get to work. So get your coffee, whatever, but get to work. Don't go do anything else. Don't get on social media. Don't answer emails. It's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to ruin that energy that you have. You want to focus it on your writing. So you could get between 4 and 6 in the morning, before 4 and 7 in the morning, you can get almost all your writing done that you're going to do that day. That's when your mind is going to be the sharpest. And there are writers that, well, there's a lot of writers that do that. Toni Morrison has said that she got up at 5 in the morning before her kids went to work, went to school. Murakami would start work at 4 in the morning. It's a little early for me, but he would knock out most of his work before noon. Okay, so he would get all his work done. So this works for a lot of writers. A lot of writers do tend to do this, and maybe because they have families and they've trained themselves. But if this is you, if you can do this, then that's great. And then what that means is that you'll be doing the other stuff later. So maybe you go to work. When you come back from work, you can do some editing, you can do some research, something that doesn't require heavy creativity. Okay, the second routine is for the bear. Your peak focus is going to be between like 10 in the morning to about 2, 3 in the afternoon. You get up with the sun, you might do a little exercise, you might do something, and then you're going to sit down and start writing. And again, there are authors that will do this. Stephen King has talked about his routine, and he's lucky enough to do this because this is his day job. He doesn't have to go anywhere else. So he gets up around 8 or 8:30, he gets to work, he mentions in his books, and then he'll work until about the afternoon, then go for a walk and do something. So he takes the middle of his day to be the most creative and get work done. Not super early in the morning and not late at night, but right in the middle. Maya Angelou would do the same thing. And so if this is you, then that's what you want to try to do. You want to tackle your most challenging work before lunch or between, like 10 to 3 in the afternoon. This means that if you're able to get a job after that, that would be the best. So you would be somebody who would go to an outside job at 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon, where you're still awake, but you don't have to have that mental focus, right? You can do something else during that time. If you're lucky enough to be able to write full time, then in the evening after 2 or 3 in the afternoon, that's when you're going to do your editing, your rewriting, your research, go on walks, things like that. Now for the wolf, so again, this was me. And what I say is because as I've got older, I don't do that anymore. And my kids are no longer little kids. So I used to wait till 10 o'clock at night for them to go to sleep and then write in the evening. I don't have to do that anymore. So I've kind of trained myself to do more writing in the morning, or sometimes in the evening when I get back from teaching at the university. I will still write in the evening. I still do get my second win in the afternoon, in the late evening. But the wolf is your night owl. So the wolf, the best time for you to write is going to be in the evening. It's not going to be getting up early at 4 or 5 in the morning. You won't be able to get anything done. So what you want to do is you want to go to work, do all your other things before that, and then sit at your desk at 5, 6 in the afternoon. You might end up working all night long. You might work until 2, 3, 4 in the morning and then go to sleep. You're going to find that your best ideas come at night. So maybe once the house gets quiet, everybody goes to sleep. But that's one of the things that I love, to be honest. I would have, for a while, I had like a glass of wine and I would sit and write. And then I thought, well, that's not too smart. So I would get actually coffee because I was still awake. So it didn't bother me. It didn't keep me awake longer. Maybe it did, but it didn't bother me because I was going to be working anyways. But I would sit and write until late at night or early in the morning. And one of the other things that I noticed about this hour of the evening or the night or early morning is that my internal critic would go away, maybe because it was tired, right? And I would be more creative because I wasn't judging what I was writing. I was just writing and enjoying being by myself and enjoying the quietness of the house. And I didn't have anything else to do because everything that needed to get done for that day was already done. So I could really focus on writing. So if you are a night owl, if you are a wolf, then this is perfect for you. Structure everything to write at night. Don't even bother trying to write during the day. Do your research or other things during the day, but don't try to be creative, especially early in the morning. And lastly is the dolphin, which is the adaptive writer. And again, this one's the one that's the hardest for me to really to comprehend because I am not anything like that. I like to have outlines. I like to have my planner with my knowing what I'm going to do. So being creative for a little while and then not, and then doing it again and then having a burst of energy, I wouldn't be able to get anything done that way. But if that is you, then you want to take advantage of that. Your energy is going to show up in waves, and what you want to do is be flexible enough to be able to take advantage of those times when you are creative. So the key for you isn't going to be to write at the same time every single day, because that might be a little difficult for you, but you do want to be a little disciplined and say, okay, I do need to write every single day. And learn to recognize those moments when you are on, when it's like, okay, well, I'm feeling very inspired right now. Hopefully you have the job or the ability to just say, okay, I'm going to take the next hour and I'm going to write this really quick because I'm just feeling it right now. Okay. And sometimes with people like this, it's like it's not just like an hour by hour thing, but it's like, okay, I'm super creative. I've just thought about this, and they're high energy for a whole week and they're able to pump things out, and maybe the next week it's not so much, right? Like the creativity just seems to have faded, and that's what you're not gonna not work, but you can do your research, you can do other things during that time instead of just trying to write. You can outline, you can plot and say, well, when next time I get a real big cert, this part of the novel that I'm going to work on. So again, this one is a lot harder for me to work with because I like to be structured and I like to have my writing time, and I like to do it all the time. And I feel that works best, but maybe not for you if you're a dolphin. So no matter your chronotype, there's a few golden rules that can help every writer unlock their perfect routine. First, track your time and find your real peak. While chronotypes are fantastic guides, all of this is theory, right? Your personal energy peak might be a little different. For 1 week, keep it simple. Log every hour, just rate your focus, your energy, and creativity, maybe on a scale of 1 to 10. Use this data to give you a precise map of your own energy pattern, letting you schedule your deep work with surgical precision. Second, go for consistency over intensity. So habits are built through repetition, not brute force. It's so much better for you to write for 30 minutes every day in your peak window than to try a miserable 5-hour session once a week that just leaves you exhausted. Stephen King's method would never work for me. In the middle of the day, it's the worst time for me to be creative. But what we do want to understand is that his success isn't about talent. It's about showing up to the page every day, and that we can all do. That consistency keeps the story fresh in his mind, and it builds unstoppable momentum. And then finally, match the task to your energy level. Not all writing tasks are the same. Drafting a new chapter takes a ton of creative energy. Editing, outline, and researching can often be done when your energy is a little lower. Look at your to-do list and assign tasks to your peak. And then look at when you need your recovery periods. This ensures you're always using your brain power in the smartest possible way. Also remember that every day is different. My yoga teacher likes to say that balance is fleeting. It's never the same day by day. It goes the same for creativity. You may be at your best in the morning most days, but that doesn't mean that every morning is going to be filled with the same type of energy. So a perfect writing routine has nothing to do with waking up at 5 a.m. It's not about shaming yourself into a schedule that feels wrong. The perfect writing routine is the one that you can actually stick to because it feels right for you. It all starts with understanding your body's natural clock, your chronotype, and giving yourself permission to work with it and not against it. Whether you're a lion, writing at dawn, a wolf, creating stories late into the night, a bear hitting your stride mid-morning, or a dolphin, writing your own unique rhythms of waves, there is a way forward for you. So after all this, what do you think your chronotype is? And what is one small change that you can make to your writing routine this week so that you can be the most creative and achieve your writing goals? Go ahead and leave me a comment. I'd be happy to hear what writing routine works best for you. And hopefully this has been helpful. If it has, please go ahead and hit the like, the share button, and come back and see me next week for the next video.